To order. Let's stand. Regions and. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. All right.
Even Casey. Here. Captain Wilson. Out here. Mark Green. Here. Mark Oswald. Here. Michael Bevavino. Here. And Chair Gardner.
Here. Okay, so we call to order the meeting. And the first item is Main Street Hacienda El Patio. And this is just for painting the facade of the building. Can we clarify, Stuart, when painting is needed to be filed? I thought
when the paint color is markedly different than it appeared originally. And if you look at the photographs, we went from sort of a beigeish yellow to blue.
Okay.
That's a change.
I just want to quickly point out, Ethan Alter is joining us virtually. He doesn't count towards the quorum, so he's still allowed to vote.
Great.
Hi,
Ethan.
And then we only have one person in the attendees list. Attendees list, if you are speaking on this application, please raise your virtual hand and I'll bring you over as a panelist. Is that Patino? Mr. or Miss Patino?
Maybe the other.
Oh, okay, I see a hand.
So that's the reason then.
Thank you. Is this person speaking for the first project?
It appears that way. Mr. or Miss Patino, could you turn on your camera and unmute and please introduce yourself? This is for 107, 113 Main Street, Hacienda El Patio.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, I don't have a camera because I'm on my desktop right now. I apologize.
Okay, can you introduce yourself and also your affiliation with this project, please?
Yes, my name is Paula. I represent our company, Rodas Printing and Signs. We will be manufacturing the signs for Mr. Yahal. We would like to make channel letters, which is the same what's
I'm sorry.
actually right now.
Paula, one moment. Are you here for 26 South Highland? Yala, Mr.
Yes,
Halal?
20.
Okay, so you're on for the wrong one. So I'm gonna,
May I just ask?
Oh.
I mean,
Unless there's somebody inconvenienced by who's also signed in, I suggest we just take her.
sounds like a plan.
That's good.
All right, Paula, so you're here to speak about 26 South Highland Avenue, HBC 10, 2025. Certificate of appropriateness for facade signage at Yala, Mr. Halal. And again, you are from what company?
Rodas Printing and Signs.
Thank you.
Okay, so, do you want to take us through the submission of drawings or renderings?
Yes, I should be able to share my screen.
Oh, you don't need,
1 second.
hang on one
I
second.
don't need to?
Don't need to. We just want to make sure
Okay.
the same thing on what was made available to the public prior to your hearing.
Okay.
Can you see our screen?
I see your screen, yes.
Okay, so you can guide me if that's not the right file you'd like displayed.
That's the correct submission, yes. So pretty much this one doesn't have the graphics, but I did submit one with the graphics that we would like to propose, which has the logo on the left-hand side and Yala, Mr. Halal.
Getting there. Give me one moment.
There you go.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So we would like to propose channel letters with orange facing with white trim and white return. we will use half of the wall for Yalal, and Mr. Halal will be using the other half above the windows. Pretty much this one will match the existing lettering that's there now with the existing signage with the channel letters like China Asanin. The height would be the same, and there'll be channel letter with illumination, just like what they have had prior to, just to kind of make it the same in the building.
All right, and do the letters light up internally?
They do, yes.
Okay. I can't read, and you're saying China Ossining letters light up as well?
Yes, on night, for my understanding, yes.
Yeah, I guess so. I've driven by it. I'm not quite sure, but okay.
Can't picture it.
And, all right. Anything else you want to show?
There's really nothing else. This is all they would like to propose. The logo would be the same, raised about 5 inches. Pretty much matching the signage on what's on there now with the building China Asaning. Just Mr. Yellow, Mr. Halal is what
And
would be on there.
the image you're showing is when it's illuminated, but during the day, is it going to be illuminated?
No, they're not going to be illuminated during the day.
Okay,
They're going to have a timer where, you know, when it gets dusk, they'll turn on. But
okay,
during the day, they won't. The color seems a little bright on there, a little brighter than they will be, but they'll be orange.
okay. Any other questions? Do we wish?
I did send one with dimensions as well, if you needed any specifications on dimensions.
So,
Yeah, I think, didn't I already see, isn't it already up? It is up already.
It's just a banner there now.
Oh, it's just a banner. That's why it looks familiar. Okay. All right,
Yeah, no, we did a banner because they wanted to get something pretty quickly up there since they opened already.
all right.
And
What?
illuminated signage is allowed in the historic district?
In,
There's no prohibition. I'll answer it that way.
That answers the question.
okay. I get no question. Anyone have any further questions?
It won't be blinking, will it? It'll just be constant light?
Yeah.
No blinking at all. I know blinking is not an option, so no blinking whatsoever. There'll be sturdy lighting.
Okay, in the design guidelines, I believe to Michael's question, I believe we prefer to see exterior illuminated lights, I think, in the design guidelines, but they're not requirements or guidelines. And that's all I'm putting out there. I think when we've done Main Street signage, and we allowed, I'm trying to remember now, we've allowed internal, but if Stuart says there's no prohibition.
We had a Verizon or we had some cell provider sign that was lit, I remember.
Mhm.
are you making the distinction between a sign that has external light shining onto
Yeah.
it as opposed to, there are definitely a couple, on Upper Main Street that are illuminated themselves.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking too, and as Stuart said, it's not that we have to prohibit it because there's no prohibition. Okay, so unless there are any other questions, I move that is there a motion to vote?
Motion to vote.
Steve, and there's a second?
Oh, I will second the.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, look forward to going there.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Just one more question. This will be, I have sent an email to the building department since they had new regulations in terms of their signage and all, where if they were doing something what was previous, they didn't need to file for a new sign permit. With the okay from you guys, would I be able to manufacture, or would I have to still go through the building department even though they said it wasn't required. I was a little confused on that.
Well, I'm not aware, I'm looking at Corporation Council, I'm not aware of any changes that would change how this application is handled. So I think that you still do need to wait for the building department, but fortunately, this should go pretty quickly.
Okay, so I will just wait for your paperwork and I'll go from there into bringing it to the building department.
Well, right, once you have the signed certificate of appropriateness from this board, which should be a couple of days from now, you'll need to file for the
Mhm.
sign permit and then sort of follow what the building department says after that point.
Awesome, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Welcome, thank you. Okay.
Have a
moving-
good night.
Good night. Moving on to Hacienda El Patio. Anyone here to present something? No, okay. Certainly not in person and not virtually.
Is there any, I mean, do we want to give a little background on this, just so the board is aware?
Sure. This used to be, I think, El Manavita, in a prior life, and it was something well before that, I'm sure. This came well, let me back up. The building department issued an order to remedy because they noted the change in paint color, which had not been approved by this board.
Mhm.
So as a result, that resulted in the application to HPC for a certificate of appropriateness, in essence, an after-the-fact certificate of
I
appropriateness.
thought that was a really good rendering.
Because it was a very good rendering, because it was the actual thing. So this is one of those circumstances where the building department's order to remedy in their action resulted in the application to you folks. So unlike where you usually, as in the other case, you got a referral from the building inspector, here there's no referral, it's just as a result of the OTR. And again, ordinarily a paint change does not result in a need for a certificate of appropriateness, but the change in colors you can have seen to what is now from the yellowish to what is now the blue.
Oh, yeah.
That's what resulted in the, in this.
And they did the canopy too, so you can't just repaint, you gotta do these canopies
They did, everything was done, that is correct.
and everything, wow.
So they are, now ordinarily, we like to have the applicant here, that's usually the process. This order to remedy was issued on August 21st. And obviously, it would, await what happens here, but that's sort of the background as to what's going on here with regard to this particular location.
Wow, so then I haven't been around there to notice it. Can you call up the approved one? Manny, side by side, is that
Probably.
easy to do?
Let me.
Yeah, I remember, I noticed this maybe a week or two ago. The color of that blue kind of shocked me. I said,
Yeah.
I don't remember approving this.
Uh-huh.
And
Because I remember the signage
Yeah.
change, but yeah.
That old yellow was terrible, so.
Is it
Not
one-
I'm
yeah,
not
here,
talking about
113.
blue, I'm glad it's the color.
Oh, you prefer the blue?
I do, yeah, it's my identity.
so folks, this is what was approved, this was the old
Yeah.
El Manavita, but
No problem.
they changed, you approved the sign before.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah.
but the color in the back stayed the same. So what has now happened is they put the sign up, but they've now taken down El Manavita, but now it basically is that blue color that you now see.
And
Same sign company.
Did it say in the C of A whether the color would be maintained or it was silent about the
It
color?
was silent because it was just a sign
Right, it
application,
was just
so there
a
was
sign
nothing about
application, right,
that.
so they changed the paint color to, okay, yeah. And also the canopy and whatever,
And the doors,
yes, of course, yes.
Is there?
little pilasters and everything. At least they were consistent in the detailing. They didn't just paint the pilasters all one color, they kept with the,
Can we go back to the existing
they kept
photo?
with the
Yeah.
detail.
I mean, the exist,
There you
yes,
go.
thank you.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's basically now makes the two buildings, because remember, there was a building to the right that is that same color, the way it was.
Right.
Yeah,
Chanel, that terrible yellow.
and now it makes it look, as a unique property, so I guess that was in their thinking. To give them more identity. And, okay,
The awnings look flatter. Now they're just like decorative. Before they were deeper.
Possibly that's true,
Unless they just painted it over to red. God, I hope not.
I don't know, obviously the
That's a
canopies
pretty good color.
aren't
match.
doing much for you, because we got a lot of recess there.
I don't get it.
Well, to me that, I mean, it sounds like, no one, unless someone says otherwise, no one's objecting per se to the blue. And have I heard otherwise? I mean, does anyone have a strong opinion about this? Which you're
Like,
entitled to
that is
have.
like the scene between.
So the fact that part of it was that it was gonna still read as two buildings. And we don't have a more distant shot that shows the other property. Or maybe from Julie, or rather from, Zillow. Google now.
I think it probably would not have been
That'd be the
updated,
current, yes.
but just so you can, so the board and the public can see that the band.
And then there's a building.
That's an earlier iteration.
Different color, yeah.
Where am I? That's not
I
right
don't
at
know
all.
where, you're not right,
So down,
Yeah.
right.
And in the regulations,
Yeah,
Um,
that's, yeah.
oh, sorry,
There
yeah.
you are.
So it reads as like, to Catherine's point, what I was saying earlier,
Oh, I
the
see.
existing, yeah, it reads as more than one building, and it actually just
Uh-huh.
makes it a bigger scale for the entire sign band. In other words, it's consistently colored because that building is one building, I think.
Now there's a break.
Now,
Well, it,
Yeah.
as an address, it's 107, 113.
right, but the building
So-
above it,
That is,
That's one building.
that's correct, but
Yeah.
and the question, so to me, I think there's truth to that, when I was looking at it, I thought, oh, okay, well, it still reads as one building, and now it reads hopped up.
Cause the blue is to here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And the
right.
white is to here. It's like,
So it's not necessarily per se that blue is bad, it's that the rest of the building wasn't painted blue. And, also is it explicit, now I don't remember exactly what we say, but is it explicit that the paint, like you said, if the paint was gonna be different, from what was implicitly or explicitly approved, then they should have come to us. It's not another shade of yellow, it's very
the
different.
position the board has taken in the past is that a modification of the shade of color would never have to come back here. Because otherwise you might be seeing applications literally month after month.
Right, and also stuff,
But something like this, which essentially goes from, if you want to put, let's say, black to white,
yeah,
or in this case, yellow to this blue. And again, not just even the signage, you've got the awnings have been painted, the doors have been painted.
oh, yeah,
So,
exactly.
And so for that reason, it was done. Again, the order to remedy, just to point out, the application is by Hacienda El Patio. The order to remedy is issued to the building owner,
Right,
because it's the owner who is ultimately, who actually has to come in. I think there is an owner's authorization form for this case, where the owner says that they can apply for this. But, as you can see right there, because Mr. Cardenas is the owner, or Ms. Cardenas. So in this case, what the board has done in the past is modest, color changes, no issue, it doesn't even come before you. Building, department will just, building department won't even do anything with it. I mean, because there's generally not a requirement for a permit. But where you have something like this, that's where they will come in and say it has to come back. My recollection is on one like this, I probably was contacted by the code enforcement officer who said, look at these pictures, does it have to go? And I know that, I believe both myself and the planning director looked at it and said, no, this has to go before back to
Yeah.
HPC. So that's why it's here.
I think there are two issues. One is protocol and setting a precedent. The other is, as Catherine was saying, I certainly trying to point it out too. There just seemed to be a comfort level, last time I remember we looked at it, that it reads as one building, including the sign band. And now it's very different.
I have to say, I don't know if anyone.
Go ahead.
Has been there,
Yeah.
but it does kind of shock you. It's,
It's a pretty strong.
Well, that's why they probably did
Yeah,
it.
you go down, it's like,
I'm sure that's why they did it.
well, I think they're also seem to be going for a Greek
Yes.
Latino cuisine.
I see.
And a
So
lot of Greek restaurants seem to be painted to a bluish color, so they may be trying to.
Blue and white, I think, is the Greek flag.
Yes,
As
right,
far as it goes, so-
right, yeah.
Well, see, my first thought is they have a choice. I mean, we try to make things as easy as we can for investors in our village. My thought would be repaint it to match what was there, or paint the rest of it blue to match and keep it one continuous band. Because I guess, blue versus beige or yellow, well, as long as it's consistent across the entire building, that seems to me, possibly others will agree or disagree, the more important issue.
Seems like that might be problematic for the other businesses.
I would think the
So,
Craven Mill may not want that.
No, that's about,
But that's an owner's decision. He has to
Exactly,
talk to his
exactly,
tenant about.
exactly.
Understood.
We can also, I mean, since the applicant isn't
We can
here,
adjourn it.
we can, but we just wanted to make sure that the board had the full.
Yeah, and the
context.
applicant's not here either. They're
Yeah.
supposed to be here in person.
Right.
Yeah, I just, if we want some kind of, sense when, one's eye moves along the street
Yeah.
and some kind of, rather than, it's a free for all and anybody can do what they want. Walk by it and you'll see your eye moves down. It's like, wait a minute, it's that kind of.
Right, no, it's one building. We approved it with the sense that stays. And, the blue is the fact that it's blue, it could have been bright green and we still have the same issue.
Yeah.
So I think, I'd suggest that as being thrown back to the owner to decide what to do.
I think that what I would suggest is we can, the assistant village manager and I, we can communicate with the applicant to that extent. But my suggestion would be to adjourn it until
Okay.
your November meeting. Make it clear to the applicant they need to be here. And if they're
Yes,
not here
that's
at that
another one.
time, there's a risk that they could actually be denied. And then, then they've got a whole other situation that they have to deal with. But I think because we do want to have applicants at these meetings, I think it's pretty clear that we should, get, in this case, the owner of Hacienda El Patio down here, to deal with that, because.
Well, would it be the Hasio, it's really the building owner.
Well, no, but the applicant here is actually
Oh, yeah.
Hacienda El Patio
Okay.
because the owner gave them the authorization to make the
I
application.
see, okay, well, fine.
So
So
I
I
think
can come
that's.
back and, they can paint the whole building, repaint it, or bring it back to all yellow. Do I make a motion to vote on that?
Well, a motion to adjourn the
Yeah,
application.
motion to adjourn. First and second, okay, so it's accepted, we're gonna adjourn.
Good.
And we have a point of view tentatively laid out. Okay. Continuing, that was quick, so I'd love to hear anything, since it's on our agenda, very nice that it is, about the tax credit in the Black Historic District, if someone would like to discuss that. If not, then I'll take up another topic in some time that we have left.
Well, I wasn't sure. I don't think what we discussed last time has been posted yet to the website.
I'm not sure. I sort of left it with you and Jamie to sort of hash
Double
out.
back with her.
Yeah.
I was gonna call and then I saw it was on the agenda here and I thought there was something else we needed to discuss. But Daniel, you weren't here, so,
Right.
I just rewrote it. I think we went through it as a group and then.
This would be on our website now?
Yeah,
Great, and so where does it exist now? It's not on the website, we haven't, I guess, approved it yet?
So there were some pretty, if I may, there were some pretty substantive changes that were recommended, and I think everyone who was in attendance at that meeting said they were very comfortable with the approach.
Yeah.
The webmaster for the village is Jamie Hoffman in the manager's office. So I know Mr. Casey had set up some time to meet with her. I don't know if you all came into the office.
Yeah, we did. We had
Perfect.
the three of us met,
Okay,
and I thought it was gonna happen, and then I don't know why it didn't.
I will have to ask her, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when I saw it here, I thought, oh, okay, maybe,
Oh, no,
you know, it needed to be reviewed again or something.
no, I think, unless the chair feels differently, I think the impression that I got was we were gonna carry these issues over from meeting to meeting until they were resolved to the satisfaction.
Yeah, let's do that, and,
I think just
ahead.
to,
Yeah.
we had discussed, you know, I had put out a draft a few months ago. And revised that was based on the input, that was the product. We reviewed it together. And at the August meeting, and it was fine, or, you know, there were no
Yeah,
objections,
good.
so we,
okay, well, how do I get a hold of it, or I wasn't aware I can access it?
Sure, it's uploaded in the agenda as a link.
Oh, great,
It's the
okay, fine.
same, the same exact text, I believe, as was
Okay,
first
fine.
discussed maybe 2 months
Oh,
ago.
yeah, I see what you're talking about. I didn't notice that. Okay, great. So next meeting, hopefully we just approve it and then it gets on the web.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know that it needs a formal approval, whereas in the past, when we talked about making changes to the significant structures guide and things like that, that's actually like a village-owned document.
Mhm.
So that would need to go to the Board of Trustees, but this is really just text on the website, it's not a policy or a
Okay.
document. So as long as this board says it's okay, we'll make the changes, we'll show it at the next meeting, and then if everyone's good with it, there's nothing else to do.
Well, are the changes on this slide right now?
This is what Mr. Casey has prepared.
Okay, and some changes that are not on the slide and yet to be done?
no, this reflects. The input from
Oh,
like
great.
2 months before that, so this is the revision.
And
We
how would
reviewed it collectively in August.
It will replace several of the things that are here now,
Yeah,
right?
show me, I think that I'd just like to see it. You get on our webpage, where would you find the final document when it's done?
So I want to make sure I'm answering the question that's being asked.
Yeah.
So right now, what's in the document that Mr. Casey has authored and what's, going through the process of being added is nowhere on the HPC page. Where you can find it is posted in the agenda for the last 3 HPC.
No, I
meetings.
understand that,
Okay.
but once we approve it, and it sounds like you took care of, so I haven't read it yet, and I'm
Okay,
looking
no,
forward
go
to
ahead
it,
if you
but I
like.
trust that
Yeah.
everybody reviewed the documents, and if it turns out later we want to revise it again, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
So I'm for posting it right now, but, so where do we post it? I think that's the only question, if in fact we have any latitude.
So I think, please go ahead. I think there were a couple different sections that
Sections, yeah,
Mr.
maybe
Casey and the
go
board
back
have
to
proposed
the
changes
website.
to.
We can maybe hash that out here, because
Yeah,
we're
that's more
tossing
important.
that back and forth, yeah.
So resources, I thought is where it could go,
Sorry.
because that's pretty, and right there is another point.
I think we had discovered that some of these links were
Yeah.
no longer active, so they needed to be updated and replaced.
Right.
I can't speak, with any detail to the discussion that you all had. I just remember that there were some chunks of the document that you had proposed that would be going in different places on these many pages within the HPCs.
Yeah, what I did was take, some of these links are not working any longer.
Yeah,
But what I did was take a few, and some of them are links that are already embedded in other links there, so it's kind of
Redirecting,
superfluous or
yeah.
redundant to do it that way. So in the narrative I wrote, there are links embedded in there, which were already on that list. And then if you click on one or two of these links, you will get some of those other links.
well, that's
that are in
wonderful.
there.
So,
So it kind of,
well, that's terrific. You solved the problem that was on the webpage.
yeah.
That's on list. So great. So is it as simple as just making another bullet point on our webpage under resources and we're done?
Again, I'm sort of, caught flat-footed here. I've not really been involved in this
Well,
conversation.
could
so-
we ask somebody could we make a motion, or can I make an agreement that we're asking somebody to tell us if it can be done?
You don't need to make a motion. Jamie Hoffman, who's the webmaster, has already been working with Mr. Casey on this. I can't speak to where they are in the process, but anything you want that to look like can be done.
Okay,
Why don't
so,
we go to
ahead.
yeah. I
No,
think you were gonna
please,
say
David,
that.
you're
Go to that
document.
webpage, and then under resources. So I think that's a good place for it. We could just put the narrative right there,
yep.
and then.
Wait a minute, the
those
narrative where's the
list.
bottom in the points, another bullet point,
We could even get rid of those bullets there,
all of them?
because they're embedded in the document I wrote.
Well, with all due respect though, unless the link doesn't work, it's nice to see that those are separate because what would be the,
okay,
what would be the title of it? It would be Historic Preservation Tax Program and Grants. So you wouldn't necessarily know that you could also go to some of the other documents listed under bullet points, right?
Yeah, that's an idea as well.
So we like people to know that it's there, and maybe there's just a footnote that says if the links do not work, refer to, you know, this.
Yeah.
Is it that simple? And maybe the links will get fixed one day. I don't know.
Lori, again, the best person who is not here because she has many, many other
Yes, okay.
responsibilities is Jamie Hoffman, who Steve's been contacting with. They will be able to work their magic.
All right,
Yeah, we'll
so,
get
so the
you.
decision then is, if you can contact her and you erase all the bullet, well, I'd just like to make a note. I think to the extent it's not obvious, is this other pieces of information could be embedded in something titled tax credit. They still stay there, and maybe there's just a footnote or something that says, if web links do not, you know, like an asterisk next to a web link that doesn't work. And you look at the asterisk, you say, oh, it's not activated right now, but you can go to the tax credit memo, and that's where you can find it. So at least it's very clear at a glance what kind of information we're trying to convey. And, you know, you work it out with her. That's great. That's
Okay.
fabulous. Wow. Well, that's terrific. Well done. How about the, anything on the Black Historic District?
Yes, sorry again for not being able to be there tonight in person. But I reached out to Joyce and let her know about the meeting last week where I presented, or last month where I presented the sample page, and that it was received well. So now we're just sort of figuring out what 4 to 5 sites we want to call out overall in this first wave. So we're going back and forth and waiting on her advice on which 5 to call out. So
Great.
once we have
So
that.
maybe- Then there'll be something more to talk about.
Yep.
Okay, terrific. All right, well, we have, I don't know, half an hour, maybe that's about what we need to do. If I may say, I mentioned before, maybe some people got here, that the Liberty Street home, I think it was before Ethan maybe signed on. The Liberty Street home we approved many months ago, or a year ago, is almost completely enclosed now. I don't know what the interior is like. I haven't gone in, but it's next to my house, so obviously it's hard to ignore. And as it started to go up, I finally got back and found the drawings that we approved. And is it possible to show all the photos on one page?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Well,
If someone is more computer savvy, certainly you can tell me, but I have all of them uploaded.
anyway, so you also have the revised set handy that we approved. Is
I
that
can
easy to
certainly
find?
get it if you tell me what, I mean,
It was approved on, all right, leave it alone right now. We can let this go to the next meeting. I just want to show the photos and point things out as I know them. So here's a house on Liberty Street. I forgot the number of Liberty it is. In any event, obviously you can see the state of progress, fine. This window and the side lights, go to another photo I showed you.
just want to make sure that I'm screen sharing.
Sure. Yeah. On the drawings that were revised, these were just one big piece of glass and the side lights as well. And it never occurred to me to ask, are there going to be muttons or is it going to be stained, whatever. It just shows the black, obviously, indication for a solid pane of glass, no notes or anything. This, of course, is what was installed. Also, this is the back door, by the way. And I think I showed the front elevation. If you could go back to the front. Because that door also is, no, the front. Yeah. So I don't know if you can blow that up, but you can see it's the same idea. This was black, one big black box, one big black box, one big black box in the drawings. I think we all might have assumed just big piece of glass, right? Nothing else indicated. Well, this is what they've done. It's sort of this pseudo-leaded Tiffany style, whatever you want to call it, glass. And of course it's in there. And that's what made me start to look for the drawings. So that's one thing that you could say is different from the drawings. Can you go back to the other drawings the other photos I sent? Another one. let's see what else we got there. Yeah, okay, stop there. The other revised drawing of the south elevation showed a big sliding glass door here, as I recall. Obviously, you can see it's a blank wall. And there's a door next to it, and that door was the other single door that has a sort of leaded glass, pseudo leaded glass frame. So it's just that it's different, okay? It's just not what was on the drawing as I saw that was revised. And I believe I did a side view. Another shot. No, I didn't label them. I guess I would have helped you. I'll stop. So here's that door. This thing was supposed to be a slider, and this was supposed to be a slider. It's now, as you can see, a window, which is, to me, it's fine. I don't, in my view, consider these to be significantly detrimental, but they're different. You know, and also, by the way, when they revised the drawings, I couldn't find this elevation, the east elevation, among all the elevations drawn. So it wasn't shown as a revised elevation from the original drawing. The original east elevation drawing, as I said, had a slider here. But this is what it is now, whatever. So it's interesting that there are some changes made. You might say they're significant. Somebody changed the window arrangements and the style. Or maybe it's of not much significance other than procedural that, you know, do we call them back and have them resubmit and vote on it? It's, I guess, more of a procedural question. I hate to think that anybody can just make changes.
But doesn't when the building department gets a project for permit,
Yeah.
they compare it to what was approved by the
Well, I
DAR?
haven't seen the drawings on the building site.
Well, okay, but.
So that's a good point.
So if they change something between BAR review and approval
Mhm.
and building permit, they then get called on and have to come back.
Well,
That is the way it should work,
Should work.
but I also have to say,
It doesn't always.
Chair, you sent me this a half an hour ago, so I don't have any
No, that's
context. on
okay.
it.
So,
To be,
and so, but
ahead.
the whole, where I'm going with this is that process, that's the process that's in place that catches this
Correct,
and review and approve it.
correct.
well,
It doesn't come back to us unless it's like a wholesale change.
exactly, but if we see something,
Yeah,
if we see, first of all, we can, I think, you know, we can talk about anything that's different. I mean, there's no harm in talking, right?
yeah.
And second of all, presumably the building department drawings, which I've yet to, I couldn't readily see any on site, and one guy I asked, you know, wouldn't talk to me. It's okay. I don't know whether those that window pattern, for example, and the other changes are on the construction drawings, and presumably when they reviewed it for a permit, they checked it against the approved HPC drawings, or maybe it wasn't, and they just decided to make the change on the fly, because obviously there's not a lot to do there to make the change. So I don't have an answer to that, and of course we can find out. I assume that the inspector has been there to inspect framing anyway, somebody had to be there. So I don't think it's never been looked at. So I'm bringing it up now to explore what possibly HPC should do, other than just ignore it. And I don't consider the changes in them themselves life-changing or something that means they gotta rip it out and change it. But I don't think we should just let them think they can make changes
Well, I think,
as they wish.
I know, having done plenty of work in this town, that if there's anything that's even remotely different from the drawings and the inspector catches it, that we have to resubmit, like either as-built or whatever for approval, so. My
That
guess
is
would be-
generally the
yeah,
policy, yeah.
So, like, it should be the building department re-referring the project to us if it has a historical, impact, or if it requires another, no impact letter from the HBC, like, it would seem to make sense that it would follow back through the process again.
Well, as I said, I mean, yes, there should be, it's here, you know, the building department, to my knowledge, hasn't done anything to, at least to alert us to this. Maybe they've seen it, maybe they hadn't noticed it. Maybe there's something else they got filed and for some reason never came to our attention. I just think as a matter of, policy, we should let them think that it doesn't matter, even though ultimately, at least in my view, it doesn't matter in terms of the final product.
Why don't we allow the building inspector to let Maddie and myself know exactly what has happened?
Good,
Because we're right now talking
yeah,
sort of into a blind.
right,
And since the building inspector is the one who would have done it, and we don't know what those plans show, it's probably better to get at least some word from him before anything else has to go down the road. There have been circumstances where HPC has, in essence, required an amended COA where there have been significant changes different than than what the plans are. Catherine, you may remember there was a structure on Main Street where they basically rebuilt the entire back of the place, which completely different than what the plans were.
Yeah.
So they had to come back here. And that was picked up by the building department. So here, we just have to see. I think it's fair. Let's see what the building department has done, what inspections have been done. And then we can, we can report back to you folks.
yeah, and so there are two questions, one is, of course, Stuart answered, and the other is, you know, it comes back one way or the other. You know, do we consider it to be significant changes that, you know, even possibly have to rebuild? I mean, I'm not going there right now, I'm just wondering that. Okay, so that's the, update on the building.
Daniel, I think you do have a point. I mean, it's not, just to make a point that not anything can fly. I mean, as you said before, even with the Hacienda, we just, there's a procedure and there's a process.
Yeah, I think, you know,
I think we need to make a point.
yeah, we take our time to come here, I mean, there's a reason for it, and.
Yeah.
But we also don't wanna make it, you know. Because unduly hard to
Lack
build
of
it
that-
happening.
the lack of that
Striking the right
slider
balance, yeah.
on the one elevation that faces Liberty, or no, that faces Rockledge. That looks very different. The detail on the front door and that and the side lights. That, we're okay, all right.
Actually, I got, of anything that, just offhand, a neighbor on Liberty,
Yeah.
when I asked, what do you think of the house? She went on for 5 minutes how awful the doors look. So, you know,
Too.
I can't say, it's-
Not say I like them, but.
yeah, it wasn't my
Uh,
first, and my wife doesn't
but-
like them.
The missing slider on the one elevation, because it's just this giant blank wall of siding, right?
Well, no, there's a door next to it and a slider,
Yeah.
and so there is a door. I have to say, as a neighbor, I prefer to have what they built, because it's a bit more private.
Ah, I see.
But, you know, still, it doesn't
Right.
matter what I think. I mean, it
Yeah,
matters what,
to the right there, that one elevation, it's all siding, it looks like.
yeah, you don't, from that view, you don't see the little door.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't personally object, but then again, that's not the point.
See, like the gray house there, it has windows all over it.
Yes, the gray house next to it has windows all over. And by the way, I don't think that was a subtle, you know, way of him trying to ingratiate himself with the chair by painting his house the same color as mine. I don't know, but,
There's the same color.
it's pretty much the same gray, I think. It's hard to tell myself.
That looks
How
blue.
could I argue with the gray?
All right, so we'll check with the building
I just
inspector.
sent him an email now, so hopefully we'll.
Oh, sure.
Good, so we'll talk about it next month.
Good.
All right, it's on the agenda, and it's always on the agenda, just FYI, to have the Black History and the HBC thing. If there's anything, and the tax credit thing, I guess that could come off the agenda for next time, because we've now dealt with it. And I'll read it, and, you know, and so next time it's Black Historic District is the only thing that can keep recurring. Until you say it doesn't need to. Okay,
Sounds good.
thank you. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn.
One second.
Second, okay. Adjourn. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Right.
Here, guys.